The Winx reboot will be coming out this year on October 2nd, and in the newest trailer, we got a look at the specialist, Daphne, the tricks, the Winx, and so much more. So in today's video, we are going to be analyzing the trailer and theorizing. The trailer begins with Bloom journaling at her desk, where we can see a plushie of Kiko, a fairy book, and a glass of water by her side, because in the reboot, it seems that Bloom will be aware of her powers before her confrontation with Nut like in the original. Bloom then goes to say that on her 16th birthday, something strange started to happen, which is when she's faced with who looks like Nut. As she makes a run for it, Stella and Flora swoop in and save her, setting her down in a tree and explaining that they're here for her. With Stella's scepter, I assume she opened this barrier between Gardenia and Alfea, which is when we get this beautiful view of the Alfea School for Fairies, though I'm assuming it's for witches too, since not only can we see what appears to be witches in the back, but there's even a moment in the trailer where Bloom and Icy bump into each other and share this standoff moment, which is when Icy realizes that Bloom might be a fire fairy. After Stella introduces Bloom to the rest of the girls, there's a scene of Faragonda telling them that all those with magic in their hearts can lead to the darkness or the light. There seems to be a moment where Bloom is sweeping outside when a statue nearly falls on top of her, if not for Flora pulling her out of the way, and this had to be intentionally done by either one of the tricks or maybe even this new boy character. He's not dressed as a specialist, which makes me assume he's potentially a witch, but he's already giving me the vibe that he's working for this season's antagonist, which appears to be this man with a scar on his face who is after Bloom's power. He also goes to say to Bloom, "This is your fault." Is it just me, or has anyone else thought about how similar he looks to Bloom? Like, he could potentially be related to her. Now, I know that might be a stretch, but I'm curious to see what his role is in this season and onwards. Stella, being the best friend that she is, defends Bloom by telling him, "Hey, easy on my friend." And it looks like the girls may be doing chores or voluntarily helping around Alfea. It seems like in the original, Bloom may have a moment where she does return to Gardenia for some time to reconsider her decision with Mike and Vanessa. And something I've noticed in this Winx reboot trailer is how some characters' eyes look way more realistic, or even at times AI-ish, like in this case Mike's, or even this new guy from earlier. Mitzi can be seen in the bathroom with Bloom after she likely saves her from a creature she saw in the school, which is when Mitzi tells her that she's in big trouble, maybe having to do with the amount of school she missed while in Alfea. Bloom will end up facing off with the tricks in Gardenia at her school, resulting in Mike having to come and put out the fire, giving us this sweet scene of Bloom drenched in water giving Mike a hug. Another new character introduced in this trailer is this girl dressed as a specialist, which probably means that there will even be girl specialists now, which I would love to see. The tricks' casual looks are pretty nice, and Icy is definitely my favorite with her snowflake patterned sleeves and accessories. I think Stormy's look is super cute too, but I do find there to be a bit much going on with Darcy's with all the circles, though I also like their outfits more in this darker lighting. At one point, Stormy goes to say, "I can't stand her," potentially talking about Bloom, and I love how her voice feels very similar to the original. Griffin is also in the new trailer, and her new design looks really cool. We can see the iconic scene of Bloom creating the name Winx for the girls club, and well, now when Aisha asks Bloom what Winx means, Bloom goes to say, "Everything, just Winx." Though I could have sworn in a previous trailer that Bloom responded with, "Nothing, just Winx." So I was really excited to see the specialist in the reboot, but I take it back because what is this? Again, with the weird eyes, Timmy looks weird, even Sky, but Brandon.
What did they do to you?
He looks like he's wearing eyeshadow. Though I also don't like his hair, I can't even argue on that part because it is very similar to his original design. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm very disappointed with the way that the specialists look, especially since I thought this new boy from earlier looked really good in the new style. Riven can also be seen a little behind Sky, and I think he'll probably look the best out of the specialists when comparing them to the new style and their original designs. Professor Palladium can be spotted in the trailer, while Bloom Bloom showcases her magic to the class, and there's this cute scene of Flora hugging Bloom. Now, one of the scenes that excited me the most is of when Bloom discovers a book called The History of Domino. I'm really curious to see how they go about exploring Bloom's lore and how she'll be introduced to Daphne, since we do get to see her in the trailer and even hear her voice. The villain of this season can be seen coming through a portal and telling the Tricks to bring Bloom's power to him. I still cannot get over just how great the Tricks look in the redesign for this reboot, and I cannot wait to see more of them in the first season. As for some more sporadic scenes, we can see the Winx noticing an axolotl on a roof, the girls transforming, a different scene featuring Bloom using her powers against the Tricks, Bloom, Musa, and Flora flying above the water, another scene in which Bloom uses her powers against Icy, the Winx flying around Althea, and one of my favorite scenes from the entire trailer, Bloom being confronted by Daphne in this beautifully lit underground water area, and both Daphne and Bloom look so beautiful here. The trailer ends with Daphne's voice saying Bloom's name and Faragonda explaining to Bloom that she must discover her true nature and that she's afraid there isn't much time. While there were some questionable moments in the trailer in terms of character designs and at times stiff animation, I'm really excited to see what other changes are made in the reboot, how they go about executing Bloom's backstory along with other characters, and just how this first season will go. Just a couple of days ago, the Playmate dolls for Winx were revealed at Sweet Sweet, which I also wanted to include in this video. So going doll by doll, starting with Tekna, the first thing that caught my attention with her was her face, as it does seem kind of off. However, I do recall seeing another photo of the doll in person where she looked better, and overall I think she's cute and I really like her wings. Next up, we have Aisha, who is my favorite out of the line. I think they nailed her face screening, her hair, her wings, everything about her I love. Next is Flora, who also looks beautiful. She too is one of my favorites from the line, and I think her wings and outfit look so good. All of the girls look super cute, especially Bloom. I think they did a great job with her clothing as well, and I love her hair. I'm not a big fan of Stella's wings or shoes, and her outfit is kind of lacklusting, but I'm excited to see what other dolls of her are created, and if Playmates will be doing a casual line for the girls. Lastly is Musa, which unfortunately is probably the worst out of the bunch due to her face. Some images of her in person seem to look a little better than others, but for the most part, it seems like they just didn't get her face mold or screening correct. Her eyes are just too high up on her face, but I will say that I love her outfit, and hopefully more of her dolls in person end up looking better. If you're a fan of Winx or will just be tuning in for the first time when the Winx reboot comes out this October on the 2nd, feel free to let me know what you've thought about the newest Winx trailer and which moment from it was your favorite. Thank you to my Celestial Guardian channel members, F.A., Amandine, Woodrod King, Libby, and Kayla for your support, and if you'd like to become a channel member yourself, you can join through the link in my description. Remember to be yourself, be unique, and I'll see you guys in the next one.